Howdy, Immortalium here, and welcome to Victory Achieved Gaming. This is a channel that I wanted to set up for a very long time. Now that it's finally set up, I want to do a kind of a quick introductory video just before we get on to the actual games in question. So I just kind of want to explore why I wanted to do this channel, what the format of the channel is going to be, etc, etc. So if you weren't aware, based off of my other channels, Immortalium and Immortalium Horror, I am actually quite fond of gaming, very fond of gaming in fact, and that's something that I hope will be visible in this gaming channel. But I didn't want to simply do a game review channel. I think game review channels are, just so common at this point. I wanted to be a bit more unique. And I would say that the genesis of the concept for this channel began back when I first played a game called Dark Souls, which I absolutely loved. It's actually in the name, Victory Achieved. Absolutely adore Dark Souls. And I played that, I believe, around 2015 or so for the first time and grew to absolutely love it. And I believe it was about next year, so it was 2016, when Dark Souls 3 came out. And there were all these kind of videos leading up to Dark Souls 3, all sorts of excitement. And there was, two kind of channels that really caught my eye when it came to the content that they were producing. I'll start off with a channel that doesn't seem to exist anymore. I tried looking for their videos recently and I couldn't find any of them. But it was a channel called TGN Squadron. And for those of you who know that channel, they did a Dark Souls series where Rui Khan, who is very intimately familiar with Dark Souls, he's played it so many times. That's basically his big thing. He guides someone who hasn't played Dark Souls before. Well, technically Hengist, he had played a little bit of Dark Souls, but I don't think he even got out of the asylum. I could be wrong with that. So, basically nothing. So I absolutely loved the format that they did. And I'll explain more about that format in a little bit. But the other inspiration for this came from IGN, actually. It was a series called Prepare to Try, which I really, really enjoyed. And again, it was a case where we saw someone who was familiar with the game of Dark Souls guiding someone through the game that wasn't familiar at all with Dark Souls, had never played it and knew nothing about it. And to me, you see, this kind of inspired the idea of the guided blind Let's Play. So blind Let's Plays, I love them. I really love watching someone's first experience of a game because, a lot of these games that I actually want to bother seeing someone else play, I want to see their first reactions to things, particularly key moments. And it's super exciting to hear someone react, oh my god, I can't believe this happened, or something like that, and to come to understand the game. But there are some flaws with the blind Let's Play format. And while I'm not going to name any names, there was a Dark Souls blind Let's Play that I watched about that time as well, where it was just one person, someone who had never played Dark Souls before. And for those of you who are familiar with Dark Souls, he had achieved basically the first task set to him. He'd beat the third boss. In all likelihood, it would be your third boss of the game. And from then on, he didn't know where to go. And so we witnessed a few episodes of him just kind of wandering about aimlessly. And that's all right for a little bit, You can come across some very interesting stuff if you're a bit aimless and just exploring. But there were literally episodes where it was him going around in circles. And so it did end up frustrating me after a while. And that combined with other Let's Plays where I see the people not understanding mechanics and getting frustrated, it made me realize that the blind Let's Play format has a lot of weaknesses. So my concept was that we are going to get the best of both worlds. We're going to have someone play a game that they've never played before, while having someone who has played the game and understands the game with them to explain certain things about the game, maybe some mechanics, maybe a bit of the story if it's hard to understand, to give them kind of a guiding hand every so often, not to be a backseat gamer, because a lot of these games, a lot of the fun is trying to understand it. So I don't want to be just telling them everything to do. But I think if you have someone there who's played the game before and can explain the occasional bit, while having the person playing the game be someone who's never played the game before, I think you basically take away the weaknesses about a blind Let's Play and a Let's Play where someone's played the game before, and be able to create something that is a great experience. Of course, the flaw with this format is that you require more than just one person. And so that's why it's taken a particularly long time to be able to set all this up. I needed to get someone else who could actually participate, and I finally found someone. Caitlin, she is very good at games in general, I think, and I think she is also a very fun and enjoyable person to hang out with. So I think she'd be a perfect fit for the Guided Blind Let's Play format. And the focus as well would be hard video games. Because, let's be honest here, while, the Guided Blind Let's Play format can work, decently well with, lots of different types of games, I think it's at its best when it's hard games in particular. And so I ended up establishing this list. This list I'll show you on the screen while I'm explaining it, of hard video games, or games that are generally considered to be hard. There's going to be a little bit of debate, I'm sure, on some titles in this. Generally considered hard games that I've played through, completed, and that I'd be able to kind of guide someone else through. And as you can see, there's actually quite a lot of games here. I've also marked them with either S or L, S being short and L being long, just to denote, kind of give an average of like, how long it would take to complete a game. So my basic idea is that we'd record a bunch of videos, we'd release them 2 videos a week, 1 video for each game. So it's 2 games each week, 1 episode each, and that one of them would be a long game and one of them would be a short game. And the idea behind that is because if we were playing 2 long games, then given how the episodes are coming out, I think a lot of people would just get fatigued after a while. So I think having a long game being played as well as a short game, it gives a little bit of diversity to the channel in terms of content. Now I do intend to start with 2 short games. Originally, I was actually planning to do the 2 Dragon's Lair games with her because she's a big fan of Don Bluth, which, I was hoping that she'd kind of explain as we played through it. And of course, Dragon's Lair is notorious for being hard and also is quite an important game series. So I was hoping to start with those 2, kind of get those 2 done. So, there'd be like 2 series that people could watch, pretty early on with the channel. But I was doing some testing with Dragon's Lair, the first one, and I've been coming across these issues, like for instance the controller, not working with it. And then take a look at this issue. The game froze and the points kept reducing, and it didn't matter how long I left it. And I could actually exit the game, but as soon as I go back, the save date is gone, so you have to start the game over again. And I just think unless I could rectify that, there's no point in actually playing that with her. I think it would be a frustrating experience. I think it would be ultimately a waste of time. So unless someone can, give me a hand with it, I would absolutely love it if someone in the comments could explain why this is happening and how to fix it. I think it's best that we leave the Dragon's Lair games for the time being. We'll pick out 2 other short games to play. And with regards to that, I also want to point out I intend for this list to be visible. I'm going to include it in the description of every video that goes up on this channel so that people could look at it. And I'm also going to include it in the About section in Victory Achieved Gaming. So of course, I'm hoping that people will take a look, that they can share their thoughts and opinions on these games that are in my list, whether they do consider them to be hard or not. And also, of course, I would love to hear people recommend hard games to include in the list. It's entirely possible that someone will recommend a hard game and I'll go, oh, I've actually played that, but I didn't know it was considered to be hard. So I might end up adding stuff to that list. So with that all being said and done, it is my intention that these videos will be released on every Tuesday and every Friday. So as of this video, I decided to just put up on a Monday to get everyone, kind of prepared. And then tomorrow, the first episode of whatever game we pick out is going to go out. And I think that's super exciting. This is something that I've really wanted to do for a very long time. If we gain enough support, enough attention and interest, we may end up actually increasing the number of episodes we release a week, which would mean that we'd need to do more recording, etc., etc. But for the moment, we're just going to go with that format. So of course, I would absolutely love it if you would support us, and hopefully you end up enjoying the content. So yeah, thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and bye-bye.